Hi folks, Kilt-Man here. Greetings. Another little video review for you for the Halloween Horrorthon, which is proceeding with gusto and a film a night. Halloween lives. It's this one, The Beast Must Die. There's the poster for it. Yeah, nice vintage poster and t-shirt. Goes well with the kilt, don't you think? Yeah, very nice. So, let's get down to it. Be a quick video, this one. Beast Must Die, 1974, made by Amicus movies, Amicus films. Amicus was the sort of blood brother to Hammer Horror, you know, and these were mainly an American financed company. Milton Subotsky owned them, and they were responsible for a lot of classic 70s movies, usually portmanteau films, like anthology styles, but with great lurid titles like Tales from the Crypt, The Vault of Horror, The House That Dripped Blood, you know, this sort of thing, and Torture Garden, really headline grabbing sort of, you know, titles. And this one's no exception. The Beast Must Die. You know, it just grabs you, doesn't it? And this one, it kind of rides the crest of the blaxploitation wave, which was all the rage in America at the time, what with Shaft and all that kind of stuff. And so you have a black leading man in the guise of Calvin Lockhart, who plays the big game hunter and business tycoon Tom Newcliffe, who is runs a fabulous country estate miles away from anywhere, with high-tech security systems, his own private army, and he invites a load of, you know, well-to-do, well-heeled guests for a weekend of, well, hairy horror, because he knows or suspects that one of them happens to be a werewolf. And there's a motley crew of suspects here. You've got Sir Michael Gambon, much younger, playing this concert pianist called Yarn. You've got the lovely Davina. You have Tom Chapbourne as this hippie lounge lizard, who's a famous sort of expressionist painter as well. You've got Charles Gray in there as well, and you've got Marlene Clark playing Tom Newcliffe's beautiful wife. She may well be a suspect as well. And basically all these people, wherever they've gone in the world, there's been horrible, mysterious murders, people throats torn out, people partially devoured, and these people have always cropped up as, you know, suspects on Tom Newcliffe's, you know, list of potential werewolves. We've got the great Peter Cushing in there as well as the sort of Eastern European Dr. Lundgren. Now this guy, he's been brought in because he's an expert on lycanthropy and loup-garou, werewolfery to you and me. And he supplies a lot of scientific background to all this kind of mystical malevolence. And yeah, but Tom just wants to hunt this bastard down. You know, he wants to mount. This is the biggest prey of all. You know, the werewolf. Well, it would be if it was played by anything other than a cuddly German Shepherd with a little fairy mane round its neck to make it look a bit more ferocious. But doesn't matter. Now, I'm not going to sell this as being some kind of great wow horror classic. It is to me, because I grew up watching this film. It was forever on BBC Two on late night horror double bills, and I loved it because at the time this represented a nice sort of slant on the usual werewolf myth, where you'd have gothic swamps and foggy, you know, tombstone laden cemeteries, and, you know, old European towns and hamlets terrorized by this wolfman, by this kind of thing. And this was a different slant because this was modern day, albeit 74. You had submachine guns, you had high-tech surveillance gear, helicopters. So it was a real kind of exciting, you know, comic book mishmash of the two genres. And to me, it works great. It's hokey as all hell. There's no getting around it. Because I think he's overlooked one particular thing as our mate, Tom Newcliffe. Because if these guys are all suspects in these vicious murders that happened everywhere that each one of them's gone, there's been these horrible murders, well, what if they're all werewolves? I think the odds would be stacked against him there. Anyway, he's got them all there for a weekend. He's got 3 nights of the full moon, you know, and hidden about his mansion house, he has a little secret, and that is the great German Teutonic actor Anton Diffring, who plays Pavel, who is sitting in a control centre watching all the surveillance cameras, because there's cameras in all the trees outside, there's motion detectors, there's microphones buried in the ground, they can detect the paw prints and the breathing of, you know, these creatures. So basically anything tries to get into the grounds or get out of the grounds, our boy will be on the case immediately with his high-powered I was going to say air rifle then, that wouldn't do much good, would it? His high-powered sniper rifle and lots of submachine guns and a whole lot of silver bullets. Obviously throughout the course of this weekend, various people get their throats torn out, and you know, there's a few chases. The first night, you know, the perimeter gets broken, and Pavel says, you know, Mr. Newcliffe, you know, the perimeter has been broken. The wolf is on the loose. So gets his guns, puts on his swanky, shiny black PVC jacket. It's meant to be leather, but it's PVC. His big, swanky, you know, early 70s disco boots. Legs it out into the woods and goes pursuing it. This thing completely, you know, outwits him, as you'd expect it to. And you've got this great sequence, my favourite sequence in the entire film actually, where you've got Pavel, who's watching on all the security monitors and all the motion detectors, and he's in communication with Tom. He's saying, "Hunter, it is 150 yards ahead of you. Moving around the trees now. It's stopped. Hunter, it's coming for you. Coming for 100 yards. 50 yards. He's right on you, Hunter." And the wolf just jumps over him, and he fires a shot, misses, and in a wonderful little moment he realises, Pavel, he's coming for you. He's heard you talking to me. He knows you're watching. He's coming for you. Arm yourself, Pavel. Find something silver. And Pavel goes, "Oh, don't worry, Hunter. I've got something much better than that." He gets out a 9mm. "And I don't believe in werewolves," he says. And then this shadow in the skylight above him, of his jaws, suddenly appears, turns around, and there's this cuddly German shepherd on the chimney stack. Doesn't take it. Wolf jumps through the skylight. You hear this horrible high-pitched scream. Tom legs it across the air, the mansion gardens, gets into the house, breaks the door down. Chaos everywhere. All his screens have been smashed. You know, all his high-tech surveillance gear has been trashed and ruined. Pavel sitting in a chair with his back to him. Pavel! Pavel! Turns him round. Pavel's throat torn out and an eyeball has been ripped out as well. He's like, Ugh. So Tom's not happy now, because now it's personal. So you have another couple of nights of hunting taking place, but you've got these great little moments of parlour games where he's told them right from the word-go, "You're here because one of you is a werewolf and I'm going to kill you," you know. Great way to entertain your guests. So you play all these tricks, these little games where like pass the silver candlestick around, because as Peter Cushing, with this terrible, terrible accent, said, "The touch of silver on the werewolf's skin will be instantaneously fatal. You know, it must not be allowed to breathe in the silver through the wolfbane pollen in the air." And it's just, what? Yeah, it brings this scientific mumbo jumbo. "The werewolf is created by the lymph from the lymph glands here, which secretes into the blood." And it's like, what? What? Shut up, man. You know, don't give us this scientific mumbo jumbo. It's a fucking werewolf, for God's sake. Anyway, so they pass the candlestick around, but everyone passes these tests. And then on a second night of carnage, Tom's got a helicopter and his pilot's like, a whirly-bird chasing this wolf through the woods. And it runs into like a garden shed. It's more than that. It's like a pretty big fucking greenhouse thing. Like, and he lands and he goes in. But his wife Caroline, played by the lovely Marlene Clark. By the way, they wanted Shirley Bassey for the role. Dame Shirley Bassey in a werewolf movie? Ain't gonna happen, that is it. And she and the pet dog that they've got go in there, and he's got it cornered, but the wolf leaps out, and it fights her dog and kills their dog, and it kills the helicopter pilot. It's a pretty bad shot, to be honest, because it's the actual dog's real life trainer, and the two love each other, and it's jumping up like that, and it's just like, I love you, daddy, I love you. But you meant to go, oh, it's tearing his throat out. It's not. It's licking his face. And Tom fires and fucking blows the helicopter up as well. So you get a bit of action in the middle of all this. And the wolf gets away again, like, duh. And another guest gets their throat torn out. I think it's the eminently suave Charles Gray who's found. Yeah, you know. And so Tom's really, really angry now. Like, so this time, the game will change because, tonight the beast must die. So this time he gets silver bullets. Right, okay. We did the candlestick thing. There's wolfbane pollen in the air because that's important. The catalyst of touching silver, whatever. So everyone's got to hold, in fact, they've got to put it in their mouth, the silver bullet. And it's a nice precursor to the blood test in The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, several years later, the classic masterpiece that is possibly my favourite film of all time, is The Thing. So it's a precursor for that. So you're kind of on the edge of your seat as each person, something's going to happen, isn't it? He even gives it to Peter Cushing, who's meant to be a good guy, but Cushing's got this sort of bizarre hairpiece on, it's meant to be like some sort of Germanic, tight, flat top, swept back, and it's to give him a bit of a wolfy expression, a wolfy appearance, and it does work to some degree. And he drops the bullet into Peter Cushing's hand, and Peter Cushing, who's an old man at this time, very, very gaunt, catches it, lightning reflex, like that. And he was a master of props, was Peter Cushing. You watch any of his movies, and pretty much any scene, he's got a prop in his hand, even if it's not meant to be in the script. He'll find something, a lighter, a cigarette case, a book, or whatever. He's manipulating something, and he always said it was to give the audience something to look at, to add even a dialogue sequence, a bit of action, a bit of fluidity. And he catches it like that, and in a marvellous thing, he gets a little handkerchief out and he wipes it clean, and then goes, there, I'm human. But in the meantime, poor old Marlene Clark as Caroline, Tom's wife, he goes, even you, and she goes, time for my pill. And as she reaches up like that, her hand's gone really super hairy, and a great reaction shot from everyone. They go, I turn around, and the shaggy, lovely German Shepherd leaps at Tom, and Tom has to kill. I killed her. I killed Caroline. It's his wife. Hang on a minute. But she was in the barn when the werewolf... Peter Cushing goes, but didn't she cut her hand on the glass when you ruined the dinner party the other night? And the cut when she held the dying dog, the blood was enough to enter her system, and now she has become the werewolf. No. But that still means... Where's the other wolf? This film is famous for another reason as well. It has the hokey beyond all belief, the werewolf break. At the start of the film, you're given this introduction, this voiceover that says, this is a detective story in which you are the detective. The question is not who is the murderer, but who is the werewolf. Werewolf? It's werewolf. God damn it, I hate people who say werewolf. Watch for the werewolf break, because at this point the film will stop and you get another static screen of this lovely shaggy German Shepherd head, and it says, this is the werewolf break. Have you guessed yet? And it give you it list all the suspects, all the ones who are still alive, basically. Now you've seen all the clues. Now can you work out who is the werewolf? And then it resumes, obviously. And hey, it was Michael Gambon all along. We kind of knew it anyway, but it's him. Tom goes after Michael Gambon, the wolf now, and they have a big man-away wolfo scrap on the lawn, in which he manages to ping Michael Gambon, kills him, and then you see him revert back to his human form, and it's one of them really old-fashioned lap dissolve, like they did with Lon Chaney Jr. playing the Wolfman in 1941, and it's in fact it was more effective back then than it was in this movie. But hey, it's all good fun. And then a great shot of the mist, the dawn mist rolling across the lawns. Peter Cushing and the young, lovely Davina, played by someone I cannot remember, are the only ones left. And they see Tom staggering, battered and bruised through the mist across the lawns with his hunting rifle. And are you bitten? Oh, he bit me. The werewolf bit me. And of course, they've been educated, ad nauseum, that, once you've been bitten, you're going to become one too. So what does Tom do? I mean, he's the hunter who's now become the very thing he hunted. Takes the last silver bullet, puts it into the hunting rifle. There must be something we can do, cries Davina. There is only one way to cure a werewolf, says Peter Cushing, as poor old Tom goes into his trophy room and sits and admires all his estate and all his money and all the riches he had, and then puts the hunting rifle between his knees and cut to outside, and then the funky music starts again, because it's this was 1974, and you've got a black leading man, so funky exploitation kind of stuff, dead jazzed up, and it's great. I cannot pretend the film is a masterpiece. It's sure to God is not. It's based on a short story by James Blish called There Shall Be No Darkness. And it works as a short story, or even like a parlour room mystery. It could be great on a stage. Cut out the helicopters and the running through the forest and all that with rifles and guns and all sorts. As a little mystery and a whodunit, or who's going to do it, it works a treat. The premise is superb. It's kind of stodgy direction. The effects ain't up to much. The prosthetics are nice for its time. So it's got a bit of blood to it, but it's got some suspense as well. And it's just this lurid comic book approach which I really, really adore. Calvin Lockhart he went on to play King Willie, the voodoo posse drug baron in Predator 2, Babylon. He's brilliant in that, and dies again in that as well. But and he's great here. He adds a bit of funk to it, but the part wasn't written for a black man, and he knows it. And he always said that this wasn't written for me, but I'll do the best I can. And he's full of intensity and animal magnetism as well, but he's one shit host. He's the most rude bastard. The minute he's got everyone there, it's like, I'm going to kill one of you. One of you is a werewolf, and you will die. I will mount your head on the wall as another trophy. So he's not exactly the best at hosting a party, but just wonderful bravura stuff, and I love it. It is on a big nostalgic sort of bent for me, because I grew up with this movie, but it's ripe for a remake in an era where we're remaking everything. The cinema is full of unwanted, unneeded, unnecessary remakes or reimaginings of classic older movies. Well, this one, with today's effects and today's more sophisticated writing, you could have someone like maybe our boy Denzel playing him, or even Will Smith, perhaps. It would work. Capture that flavour, of being isolated. Someone here is a monster. How are we going to trap them? How are we going to survive this? And a few twists and turns. It really could work. I wrote about this film extensively in my reviewing days, my year spent as a film reviewer for AV Forums. And I remember watching it for that review a few years ago, and I really got bitten by this movie, and I thought, I would love to get the rights to this film and remake it myself. Kilt-Man Productions, The Beast Must Die. Again. And watching it again, just, for this October Horrorthon I'm undergoing, yeah, it still hits me in that kind of way. This could be redone and be magnificent. It could be the next great werewolf film. We haven't had any great werewolf films since 1981, with American Werewolf in London and The Howling. Oh, there's been plenty since, but they've not been classics. They've not remoulded or reinvented the genre. They've given nothing new or fresh. Okay, they may have looked better with, well, that's debatable. like Underworld, where they're fighting armies of vampires, and vampires and werewolves going at it. Yeah, nice idea, but it's video game stuff. But this, with the slant of mystery, the slant of horror, the slant of suspense, and a bit of funky action as well, it's a winner. It's a big 2 thumbs up, hairy palmed winner. Don't you agree? Yes. Yes, I do. So there you go, folks. That's only a quick review. There will be more. But be careful, because tonight, the beast must die. Be careful out there. And don't forget, keep it Celtic. Laters!